The present administration, which took up reins of power on May 29, 2015, is very much aware of the insecurity issues of Nigeria and even included it in its campaign promises before being elected into office. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, in his inaugural speech, ordered the relocation of the Military Command and Control Center from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to Maiduguri, the location which has come to be known as the headquarters of Boko Haram. This is just one of the measures which has been embraced to put an end to insurgency in the country. Another change of strategy by the President has been the appointment of new service chiefs. Major General Abayomi Olonishakin as the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar as the Chief of Air Staff, Rear Admiral Ibogete Ekweibas as Chief of Naval Staff.
Maritime crimes, like you know, transcend from piracy, illegal bunkering. You have, including the aspects that affect the local industry. Generally, if you're talking about maritime securities, you're talking about things that affect nations' economy, especially for littoral states. The bulk of our trade is carried out from the maritime environment. In Nigeria, we're losing billions of naira due to crude oil theft and illegal bunkering. We are also focusing at getting strategies to contain this malaise.
Did you say the order of the President that insurgency should be curbed in 3 months? Is it possible? Do we see it happening?
I think that's Mr. President's directive, and we'll work towards achieving that.
As well as Major General Tukur Buratai as the Chief of Army Staff, he's been visiting officers in the fore of the battle.
You can see is to improve the civil-military relations. We need the cooperation of the government. We need the cooperation of all the citizens of Nigeria, and indeed the citizens of indigenous of Yobe State. My presence here will also boost the morale of the troops. This is one of the reasons why I'm here, for me to see them, and it will also afford me to assess their state of readiness, their including equipment, and indeed their state of discipline, and we'll be able to assess the threat properly from this perspective.
The new service chiefs have been given 3 months by the President to deal with the situation in the Northeast. Analysts say this is possible.
The President being a retired general, you see they say once a soldier, you're always a soldier. Being a retired general and talking to, his men, because when in the military, things have to be time bound. It has to be specific. So it could even be before that date. It's doable, I believe.
You discover the army is moving, they are dislodging the book. The most important thing is to dislodge them, and they have dislodged them, but you will still have those of them who have run away, those of them who have escaped with their guns. They want to become armed robbers and start robbing on the street. They want to come out and shoot like lone rangers or lone wolf. And then when the ammunition is exhausted, they throw the gun down or they bury somewhere and join the public and become loyal citizens of the state.
So how do you advise that they curb all these escapees?
Well, the issue of escapee, you cannot curb them. What you continue to do, well, we have used, or the government have used stick to dislodge them. So the same government should return back and dangle carrot in their presence. When the government dangle carrot in the front of the escapees, they may be interested, return back to the public and join the public. Therefore, the government too should continue to do what we call winning the heart and minds of the public. Concentrate on bringing up the children, emphasize on their education. Those who have graduated, how do they get job to do? Those who have not graduated, look at the level of studies, look at what the country needs in future, and focus on the educational development of the nation. It's in tandem with our future development, so that when people are out, they will have something gainful to be employed.
However, the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff had observations to share, which he says make up major issues and deter victory in the fight against the insurgents.
We had fifth columnists in the military that were leaking information to terrorists. And then we also had challenges of unserviceable equipment. If I go down memory lane, I think the last time any piece of equipment was bought for the Nigerian Army was some APCs that were bought in 2006, and I mean they were few. And from that time on, we were not using these APCs, or were not even allowed to use them. And in fact, if we go way back from 1990, end of 1993, from then on, soldiers were not even allowed to go to range to go and practice. So a soldier that is not practicing how to use his gun, what kind of military are you going to have? So those were the challenges we had, that when we were faced with Boko Haram, it became a very big challenge. Yes, we have been going for peacekeeping, but peacekeeping is not fighting war. Peacekeeping, you sit in one place, you go for patrol once in a while and come back. That's what peacekeeping is all about. But our own is war. So those were the challenges we had. Inadequate equipment, obsolete equipment, aeroplanes. In fact, we are the ones that are flying probably the oldest fighter aeroplanes in the whole world. Alpha jets, we bought them in 1981. That is the backbone of our operations in the Northeast. So they are too old. Nations make deliberate policy to go and buy war machines for their military.
The present administration has also toed the line of the former by threatening relationship with neighboring countries for the continuation of the multinational joint task force, as well as negotiations with militants, especially for the release of the Chibok girls who have been abducted for over 500 days now.
The president also made it clear during his trip to the US, if government can determine the true leadership of Boko Haram, it will talk with them. It's not going to be a case of some people masquerading as leaders of Boko Haram and coming to cream money like it happened in the past. No. If the leadership is determined, authenticated, government will speak with such leadership.
That is a very, very dicey one. You know, dicey in the sense that in training, we're told or we are taught not to negotiate with terrorists. Well, I think that's theory. You have to look at each situation as it presents itself. Okay? I mean, even Americans, all countries, all civilized countries, they negotiate. Some are not read on the pages of newspapers. Some are not seen in the media or heard in the media, but they do negotiate. If there is sincerity of purpose, I will subscribe to it. Because the earlier we end this madness, the better for all of us.
What is going on now should not be happening. Why should we be talking about negotiation at this period of time, where the masses have taken their time to vote for a new government and they are hoping for the betterment of their future? Now you are negotiating with people that have destroyed lives.
The president has also ordered the production of small ammunitions in the country.
You discover that, okay, fine. You know that Nigeria was making an effort to go to South Africa to purchase arms, but we started the journey before South Africa. Nigeria have Daikon located in Kaduna, and we have some skeletal arms and ammunition there that are being produced. With the instruction and directive of the president now, definitely they will beef up that, and a lot of technocrats, specialists, some ATOs, technical operatives, they will be brought in so that the country can move forward in conformity with the directive of the president. That is
something that is we should have that level. We should have attained that level even 30 years ago, if not more. We have our Defense Industry Corporation. You know, they are capable of doing that. They are capable of doing more than that. And don't forget that if we start producing some of our small arms, we can even go ahead, you know, to the extent of even producing, you know, larger arms, bombs, you know, high caliber weapons. That will save us. That will save a lot for us in terms of foreign exchange. you know, and depletion of our foreign reserves, you know. Even the America that's prepared to sell us arms and all this, it's not for free. It's not for free. So we'll do ourselves a world of good if we start producing our small arms, you know, making use of our defense industries.
Nigerians are waiting with bated breath for the days when bomb blast and insurgency would no longer make up items on the news or discussion topics. The president has given up to October. What's your thought on this? Share with us on Big Story. I'm Ini Thompson.